Chapter 16, Concentration. We hear the word focus more and more when athletes and coaches discuss getting ready to play and when they evaluate actual performance. Staying focused for an entire game or competition is often the key to victory, and losing that focus is the ticket to failure. Even a brief loss of concentration can result in decreases in performance and may affect the outcome. So, what is concentration? Concentration is commonly called attention. For the purposes of this lecture, concentration and attention will be used interchangeably. Concentration or attention. In the most basic sense, concentration is the ability to maintain focus on relevant cues. This is the ability to take possession by the mind in clear and vivid form, or one out of what may seem like several simultaneous possible objects or trains of thought. Focalization is a concentration of consciousness, and these are essential. It implies withdrawal from some things in order to deal effectively with others. Concentration is the ability to maintain focus on relevant environmental cues. When the environment changes rapidly, attention focus must also change rapidly. Thinking of the past or the future raises irrelevant cues that often lead to performance errors. There are three components to concentration or attention. 1. Focus on relevant environmental cues. This is also known as selective attention. Learning and practice can help us to build selective attention. There are different ways to focus. External focus centers on things outside of the body, while internal focus is centered on the body itself. An external focus of attention is more beneficial to performance in a variety of tasks, including balance, accuracy, speed, endurance, and maximal force production, all of which are important aspects in sports participation. Number 2, maintain attentional focus. Focus may be required to be maintained for the duration of the competition. However, research has suggested that the median length of time during which thought content remains on target is approximately only 5 seconds. And third, have situational awareness. This requires that we understand what is going on around us. This ability allows players to size up a game situation, opponents, and competitions to make appropriate decisions based on the situation. This frequently occurs under pressure and within short periods of time. Concentration and optimal performance. We see better concentration and optimal performance in elite athletes. In elite athletes, peak performance is associated with an attitude or demeanor of being absorbed in the present. They are mentally relaxed with high concentration and control. They are also in a state of extraordinary awareness, and they are aware of their body and the external environment at the same time. There are some key points to attentional focus. There are several types of focus that are used. Concentration occurs along a continuum. Various types of attentional focus are appropriate for specific sports and activities. Attentional focus is viewed along different dimensions, either width, either broad or narrow, and direction, either external or internal. Shifting our attentional focus. Shifting attention during a task is important, especially during athletic activity. The athletic environment changes rapidly, and when the environment changes, so must our focus. When time pressures are added, such as being on a shot clock, the difficulty of completing tasks is enhanced. There are 4 types of attentional focus. Number 1, assess. This is external and broad attention. This is used to evaluate the environment and allows players to read the game, such as anticipating an opponent's movements, ball direction, or other visual cues. Performance, number 2. This is acting or reacting. This is external and narrow attention. This is effective for focusing on objects when performing a movement or action, such as the visual cueing of a ball prior to hitting it. Number 3, analyze. This is internal and broad attention. This assists the analysis or review of past information and decision making. For example, analyzing a point or evaluating a match strategy. And finally, number 4, rehearse. This is internal and narrow attention. This permits mental rehearsal, for example, using imagery to simulate a positive emotional state. A broad attentional focus allows a person to perceive several occurrences simultaneously. A narrow attentional focus occurs when you respond to only one or two cues. An external attention to focus directs attention outward to an object, and an internal attentional focus is directed inward to thoughts and feelings. Again, these are pictorial examples of the 4 types of attentional focus. Narrow and external. This is used to focus exclusively on one or two external cues, such as the golf ball. Broad and external. This is used to rapidly assess a situation, such as a football quarterback rapidly assessing the position of defensive backs. Narrow and internal. This is used to mentally rehearse an upcoming performance or control an emotional state, such as mentally rehearsing a golf putt or taking a breath to relax. And finally, broad and internal. This is used to analyze and plan, such as developing a game plan or strategy. Unfortunately, attention and concentration can be difficult to maintain. So what is the problem? Unfortunately, many people do not have the ability to shift their focus quickly and or effectively. Concentration problems are frequently caused by inappropriate attentional focus. We'll see an example of this in the video from the movie Up.
My master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel! My master is good at it.
I know I feel this way on a daily basis, so I'm sure that you do too. We can be diverted in our attentional processes rather easily, especially by external stimuli. So why do people have attentional issues? One issue could be from distractions, such as the dog in the video. Distractions can alter our ability to adapt to changes, and also the speed at which we do so. Some distractions are internal distractions. Internal distractions come from within ourselves. These are our thoughts, worries, and our concerns. Some examples of internal distractions include past events. Some individuals cannot forget about what has just happened, especially if it was a bad mistake. We also worry about future events. When we worry about what may happen in the future, we tend to lose focus on what is going on in the moment. We can also choke under pressure. Emotional factors such as the pressure of competition can affect an individual's performance. This tends to focus on a bad performance at a critical point in a game or a competition. We can also have overanalysis of body mechanics. Once you have learned a skill, the movement should be fairly automatic. Your attention should be primarily on what you're doing with a minimal amount of thinking. And lastly, fatigue. Since concentration requires mental effort, it can be affected through fatigue. Fatigue reduces the amount of processing resources available to the athlete to meet the demands of the situation. External distractions. External distractors come from stimuli in the environment that divert people's attention from the cues relevant to their performance. Some examples are visual distractions. There are many visual distractions in an environment which compete for attention. Spectators can cause visual distraction as well as scoreboards and also television camera crews. Auditory distractions. Noise may also distract from an individual's attention or concentration. Gamesmanship. You may receive auditory, visual, or physical interruptions from your opponent as well. And this leads us to physical interruptions. You may actually have a breakdown of the task. You are physically interrupted and you cannot complete the task. Many of us have to start the entire skill over instead of picking up where we left off. Choking occurs when attentional processes lead to impaired performance and an inability to retain control over performance without outside assistance. It is associated with thinking too much. It is not the same as panicking, so we need to make this distinction. Panicking is associated with thinking too little. We revert to instincts and quit thinking logically. How we lose in sports really doesn't matter. Either way, we miss the mark. It can matter a lot in some situations, and we may be able to focus on this. The choking process is shown here. Choking is an attentional problem. There is some condition that may lead to choking, such as an important competition, critical event in the competition, or even evaluations by coaches, peers, and parents. Sensing pressure causes your muscles to tighten. Your heart rate and breathing increases, your mouth may get dry, and your palms get damp. The key breakdown occurs at the attentional level. Instead of focusing externally on the relevant cues in your environment, you focus on your own worries and fears of losing and failing, as your attention becomes narrow and internal. The increased pressure reduces your flexibility to shift your attentional focus. You have problems changing your focus as the situation dictates. Impaired timing, coordination, fatigue, muscle tension, and poor decision-making soon follow. Here is an example of this occurring in a sports participation. A condition that could lead to choking, such as a softball player trying to hit with someone on base. The resulting physical changes may include increased neck and shoulder tension, gripping the bat tighter, and breathing may become more rapid. Attentional changes can occur as well. The individual may begin to talk to themselves and shift their attention. They may talk to themselves using phrases such as, "Don't blow it, you can do it," or "relax," or maybe utilizing negative self-talk like "watch the ball, stupid." Not my favorite, but it happens very frequently in athletics. And lastly, performance impairments may result, such as reacting too slowly because you are thinking too much, or getting angry and rushing your swing or jumping at the ball. Self-talk occurs when you think about something. In a sense, you are talking to yourself. Self-talk has many potential uses besides enhancing concentration, breaking bad habits, initiating action, sustaining effort, and acquiring skills. This includes any statement or thought, either overt or covert dialogue. Self-talk helps us to focus on the present and keep our mind from wandering, if this is appropriate. If we're working on meditation, we may not want a whole lot of self-talk. Positive self-talk will improve performance and confidence. It aids in cognitive restructuring and is an excellent coping mechanism for individuals. Some techniques for self-talk include thought stopping. First, we identify negative thoughts. Then we stop the thought. It helps if we can focus on task-relevant thoughts in the future. Negative self-talk may sound like, "He robbed me on the line, the ball was in," whereas positive self-talk may sound like, "Well, there's nothing I can do about it. If I play well, I'll win anyway." So think about yourself. Do you give yourself more negative self-talk or more positive? I'm hoping we're focusing more on the positive. Self-talk is typically done by using cue words or phrases. Self-talk is probably better if it is instructional in nature rather than general. Self-talk is typically categorized in 3 ways. It may focus on something that is task-specific or relating to technique. It may also focus on encouragement or effort. Or self-talk may focus on mood words. So what should self-talk be? It should be brief and simple. It should be logically associated with the skill, and it should be compatible with the sequence and timing of the skill. There is a ton of evidence and research for the usefulness of self-talk in athletics. Individuals who practice self-talk should develop competition plans, practice eye contact, work on staying focused in the present, overlearning skills so that they know the details of their performance, run through a dress rehearsal, and practice mental rehearsals as well. So, since concentration can be trained, how do we improve it, especially in the athletic environment? We can use simulations in practice. It can help if distractions are present. This helps us to create a game-like simulation and allows the participant to practice decision-making skills. It can also help to use cue words to help focus individuals. Focusing on instructional and motivational words can help our participants as well. Try to employ non-judgmental thinking. Again, positive self-talk is best. Self-talk is helpful if you can establish routines and use it both before and during events. There are some key individual differences between concentration and attention. As arousal increases beyond optimal, we rely most heavily on our best developed attentional ability. This part of the lecture you do not have to memorize, but research has been conducted in this area and explains how different people have different capacities for developing broad internal attention. Other research explains why some individuals are better at sorting large amounts of information, and also why those with more experience feel less pressure and perform better in critical situations. Some people appear to be more sensitive to environmental or external information than do others. These people tend to react more to the environment and other people more effectively. Some are more capable of narrow and non-detractible attention. This is common with top performers, and these individuals can follow through more effectively on a task and often take it to the highest level. In the end, we have to figure out how to play to people's strengths, including our own. While thoughts can be overwhelming, we do have the ability to control our thinking. The ability to habitually control thinking depends on the appropriateness of the style or situation, the level of confidence in that situation, and alliterations and physiological arousal. What are some strategies to keep attention? We could utilize a dress rehearsal. We can try rehearsals of simulated competition experience. We can participate in mental rehearsal. And we can tend to movement slowly, focusing on each step of the technique. We're going to take the last few minutes of this lecture to practice concentration training. Are you ready? I want you to put down your pens and just listen. We're going to go through a concentration training example. During this example, I want you to close your eyes and focus on your breathing for a few breaths. I want you to breathe in and out. I want you now to center your breathing and focus to deepen your breathing. It may help to put your hand on your belly or on your chest, wherever you feel the breathing. As you're breathing, pay attention to what you hear. Can you identify the sounds and even label them? Now I want you to listen to your breathing and listen to the sounds, but this time don't label them. Just let the breathing go. I want you now to become aware of your bodily sensations. Identify and label all the things that you feel. As you're still with your eyes closed, I want you to feel all of your sensations and then let them go. Now I want you to attend to your emotions and thoughts. Let them all appear gently without force. Slowly empty all of your emotions and thoughts. Just let them slip away. Now I want you to open your eyes and focus on one object. After a few seconds of concentrating, I want you to refocus and take in as many objects as possible.